Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Senior Estate Concierge Show. Glad that you are here visiting with us today. Today, we're going to talk about aging in place and mobility options with Christian Fitsch-Mouras. And welcome, Christian. Glad that you're here with us today. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. Well, very good having you here. So we're going to talk a little bit today about aging in place and mobility options with Christian. First, I'd like to do an introduction to the Senior Estate Concierge for those that are online that may not have, may be your first time here visiting with us, may not, but let me give you a little introduction. We are a full service, one-stop shop for senior services, if you will. Our mission is to bridge the gaps in the senior services industry and provide trusted, caring service providers in all different service sectors of the senior industry. And that could be anything from financial to legal issues, to moving, to aging in place and mobility like we're going to talk about today. It could be hospice, it could be anything that a senior or family of the seniors need as they're going through a transition in life. The Senior Estate Concierge is an organization of those senior service providers that have come together for one simple mission and cause, and that is to help be a resource and solution first, and provide guidance whenever it is needed. So it's a free call to call us, have a consultation, and we'll get you connected with our service providers that have been vetted and background checked. And that's the most important thing, is that they are trustworthy and they're going to take care of you first before anything else. So with that said, again, today's topic is aging in place and mobility and accessibility. So Christian, again, thank you for being with us today. If you would, do a quick introduction of yourself, and then we'll just have a conversation about some of the topics and issues that you see and how you help people to age better in place in their homes. Okay?
Thank you, Bill. Yes, so my name is Christian. I'm the owner, founder, and owner of 101 Mobility in Houston. What it is we do, we help people stay safe and independent in their home, which is commonly called aging in place. And we do that with the help of some knowledge. Of course, I have a couple of certification. One is the CAPS, Certified Aging in Place Specialist, earned through the National Association of Home Builders. And the other one is called CHAMP, for Certified Home Assessment and Modification Professional, which is more geared toward helping people for workers' comp, actually working for workers' comp. So people who have been injured at work, usually STIs and TBIs. And I'm also an engineer by education.
Is that right? I did not know that. What kind of engineer are you?
I'm a process engineer.
Process engineer. Very good. So you know all about the processes and how to make it work from one point A to point B. Excellent. So very good. Tell us a little bit about what is aging in place. It's not just for seniors, but it could be, like you say, for others. But here we're focusing more on seniors. Just tell us a little bit more about what aging in place is.
Okay, the CDC defines aging in place as the ability to live in one's own home and community safely, independently, and comfortably, regardless of age, income, or ability level. In short, aging in place means spending one's mature and late adulthood at home, as opposed to giving up a home and moving to an independent living or an assisted living facility, depending on the situation.
Okay, very good. I didn't realize, again, I learn always something new from when I talk with one of the members. It's awesome. I didn't realize the CDC actually had a definition for that. So that's very interesting. So if someone is planning or considering aging in place versus moving to an assisted living as they get older, what are some of the issues, more important issues that they should really consider as they're thinking about this option?
And you're right. It's about consider issue planning. Absolutely. The first thing, of course, is about the housing. Are you comfortable in your home, or do you need another home, maybe? Or do you need to modify your current home? And to make those decisions, you need to consider other factors like do you have access to the healthcare that you need or that you may need? Your personal finance, of course, are an important aspect of it. The good news here is usually the aging in place solution is usually the least expensive one, anyway. But it's to be considered as well. Transportation. Do you have access to the transportation you need? And what about when you won't be able to drive anymore? Do you have that in mind? Do you have a plan B? And I think one of the most important thing, I believe, is the community and the social interaction. Are you part of a community? And do you have the social interaction and access to the entertainment that you want? So that's very important. It's usually a very, very good reason not to move out. Okay.
Yeah. That's right. And probably, family support. My father went through the issue. Well, he passed away last year, but we had that same issue. He wanted to age in place. And thankfully he had the family around him, and we were able to bring in some health care services to be there. We didn't do too many modifications to his home, but I think that was going to be the next step. So that's really important also. And one of the nice things, obviously, about this, the senior estate concierge, is that if they want to age in place, we have some of the other service providers that can help plan with finances, maybe do a reverse mortgage if that's an option for the family or for the senior, and stay in their home and use the equity from their home to help pay for it. So those are all really important things. And it's nice to have that group of service providers right here at your fingertips that you can refer to.
I completely agree with you. And you mentioned the reverse mortgage, which is definitely one of the very good tool, and a tool that is especially adapted to that purpose of improving a home to stay in the home. It's extremely well adapted to that very purpose.
Right. It is. I've known several people who have taken advantage of it. And it's a lot better option nowadays, but that's a topic for another discussion with another member in the future. So let's keep on going with you. So tell me, what's the difference? What would you say about the difference between mobility and accessibility?
Well, mobility is about the person. It's about the person and her or his ability to move and go places without assistance. Accessibility is about the place and the possibility to get to it. Okay, in that case, a word place, depending on the context, could mean a whole region, a neighborhood, a building, a room, or even just a tub.
Mm-hmm. So just being able to get into their home, right? The ability to get in. Like, what are some of the things that you do that would provide accessibility?
Well, the first thing, yes, is to get to the home. Is the home elevated? We have a lot that issue in Houston, especially because of the floodplain. Those houses that are either built very high or that have been elevated, and now you have like a flight of 10 steps to get in the house. It's become a problem for a lot of people. So first of all, how do we address that? There are solutions for that. Usually it's a lift. Sometimes it can be a ramp if you do not exceed like 3 to 4 feet max. But if you're over 4 feet, usually just because of the footprint and also maybe because of the cost, you better go just with what we call wheelchair lift. The proper term is vertical platform lift. But then inside the home, of course, unless you have a one-story home, you may have, again, that same issue for the next set of stairs, especially if the master bedroom is on the second floor. Now, you definitely need a safe way to get there. or be prepared. And when it comes to preparing, for instance, it is important to know, especially when you think of buying your home, the home in which you will age, and you have no mobility issue whatsoever at that time, you may want to anticipate that and know, for instance, that a straight stair lift to be installed in a straight staircase is a very affordable piece of equipment. It can be even rented. It's simple. So if your stairs are straight, it's a good thing. If your stairs have a turn, it's now you cannot rent. If you need a lift that takes you directly from the first floor to the second floor and take a turn, that will be something that cannot be rented. That will be much more expensive. And even worse, if you have like a custom curve. Now we are at the top end, we may be close to $20,000. So you want to know that when you buy your home and you choose your home. One thing to look at it, so the possibility to install an elevator. Just know if you would be able to do it in that home that you're about to buy or in which you want to stay. Have all that in mind ahead of time. I know too many people who do not think of that. They're in great shape. They go to the gym every day. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. They're invincible until that morning they fall in the bathroom and the life change, and now they realize they cannot live in this home anymore. But nothing's been prepared. Okay, so I just mentioned the bathroom. The bathroom is also the first room that we really look carefully at to make it safe. It's a place where all the dangers are here. It can be slippery. It's a place we go sometime naked, so we are more vulnerable. It's a place where we access in the middle of the night with sometimes poor lighting and also poor balance, because when we get up just to get a pee, it's not the time. It takes us several minutes before we get our full balance. So that's where accidents happen. So it's really about anticipating that, preparing, knowing what the options are, and I like to say, do all this yourself when you can do it, when you can think of it, when you can make your own decisions. Don't wait for someone else to have to make the decision for you.
Right. Do you have a checklist or something like that, Kristen? When you go to talk to a potential client, they come to you and say, hey, we're thinking about aging in place. We need to know the cost. Do you have like a checklist that they go through, that, bathroom, kitchen, entryway, doorways, what kind of things that they should consider? How do you do that? What's your process?
Well, it's not a very long checklist. It's pretty straightforward. It's not very long. It's really the access, front door, garage. How do you get to the main floor if you get mobility issues? Backyard, second floor, and of course the bathroom, and to a lesser extent the kitchen, but definitely the bathroom.
Yeah.
But so it's not a very long checklist at the end of the day.
Okay. You look for tripping hazards,
Yes.
Those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
So
but it's different now. If I go on a consultation for someone who is about to come back from rehab center after an accident and have serious mobility issues, it's different, because now we need to implement things very, very quickly. So it's not the same. It's not about planning anymore. Okay.
Right. Then it's a reactive situation and you just got to do it quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, what type of home modifications are available? What type that you do versus maybe another type of contractor that would do a little bit heavier, I don't know, construction or reconstruction? What kind of things would you guys do?
Okay. We're primarily focused, aside of the bathroom, we're primarily focused on adding equipment to manage the existing home as it is. So it can be ramps, it can be a stair lift, it can be an elevator, any kind of wheelchair lift. We even pool lifts to access the pool. We install, depending on the issue as well, we do patient lift, we do ceiling lift. You know, those lifts with a rail on the ceiling who allows a caregiver to pick someone on the bed, to put that, to transfer that someone on the chair or even on the commode and the tub. We even, for people who are, usually it's not for seniors, for people who had TBI, SCI, the people who are paraplegic, for instance, the upper body was fine. We even had a ceiling lift that provide independence, where people can transfer themselves easily from the bed to the commode, for instance, things like that.
Okay.
So it's more towards equipment. It can be just a setup of grab bars in the bathroom, for instance. Okay. But and when we come to the bathroom, yes, we do remodel bathrooms, but not for the sake of remodeling and get a fancier bathroom. Always for the sake of accommodating disability. So usually, the most in the vast majority of the case, it's really about removing a tub and creating a roll-in shower.
Okay. Yeah. So that was my next question. So that was a good lead in. So you've done walk-in showers, things like that. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. This is kind of our niche here when it comes to remodeling. We don't consider us as remodeler. When it comes to the bathroom, we are a general contractor, and I work with actually three contractors that are specialized in this. For instance, very few contractors do know how to create a real roll-in shower, no threshold at all. And most of the contractor will tell you, no, that cannot be done. You need to have a curb. At least they're being honest with you. They're telling you, I don't know how to do that. What you don't want to hear is, yeah, I think we can do that. That's scary, because next thing you know, you have the water running into the bedroom. So no, the people we use, they perfectly know the drill and what needs to be done in order to have a true roll-in shower with the water that drains perfectly. But it's rare here. It's not a standard. It's really done. Spend that money on it to accommodate a disability mostly. But you have to know that in Europe, it's kind of standard. It has been trendy for over 20 years now.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I did not know that. Oh, well, that's good to know. But at least it can be done, and you guys know how to do that, and that's what's important.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those, and I think they're excellent to be able to get rid of that threshold at the bottom on the floor and be able to just walk in or a wheelchair. Right. That's the whole point. That's great. Well, good, very good. Since the pandemic hit, let's talk a little bit about that. Have you seen any major changes or, I guess, just changes in the way that you do business, or the way that seniors are coming to you or families are coming to you and asking for different things? Are there any new challenges that you see that are going on since then, or is it did it not really affect you much? Tell us a little bit about that.
It did affect us, but not that way. I didn't see any real changes in the needs, if you will. The needs are still the same. We want to avoid the fall, or we want to provide accessibility. So that didn't change. What did change, especially last year, much less now, but a year ago, yes, people being very reluctant to have a consultant coming to their home. So we have provided, I did quite a few virtual or video consultation through Zoom or FaceTime. So we offer that service. So as far as it affected our business, it did actually affect our business in a very good way for us, because what happened is, before the pandemic, people were maybe asking 3 different people or companies for the same need to get competitive bids. But now that they were very reluctant, okay, to become reluctant to have multiple visitors, they kind of shrunk there to a short list of 1 to 2 people. And the good thing is, in that case, they were really doing their homework on internet, trying to pick the best one, the one that has the best reviews, and that served us very well because we didn't lose a lot of opportunities here.
And you've got great reviews. I know that for sure. Yeah. Very quality work. I know. That's interesting, but it makes sense. People just weren't going out and getting competitive bids. They don't want people coming in their house, and that's an interesting consequence. What about challenges when working with a new client? What do you find that what are their biggest challenges or resistance? What do you see when you have someone new coming on?
So that's the denial. Definitely. First, it has to be understood that the vast majority of the people who contact us are not necessarily the users, the end user or the internet end user, but the adult children that are concerned about their parents. And very often, not systematically, but often, we face a situation where the parent does not want to have a stair lift or whatever in their home. The reason might be, it might differ. Sometimes it's because they don't want to spend the money. They don't think they can do it. They can get away without spending the money, and or because it looks so bad in my stairs now. It shows like I'm a handicapped person. I don't want to see that in my home. Okay.
So it's kind of like they're losing control over them.
Yes.
And they don't want that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or because even if the aesthetic or the cosmetic of the thing is not the reason, they have a hard time admitting that they need that. The problem, so often, and it's very sad, so often I'm asked by the adult children for a quote for, say, a stair lift, very common. And this doesn't happen because the mother or the parent that's really so resistant that, okay, they try all their best to convince their parent, but it doesn't work. Next thing I know, 6 months later, we're called, and now we need to install it right away because they are in a rehab after a fall. They fell down the stairs. That's too bad that now they have to have it anyway, but the hip is broken.
Yeah.
And you know the consequences of a broken hip.
Right. Oh, it's
at 75.
Right.
That's the beginning of the end, right?
Right.
So it's so sad that they have to wait for this accident to happen, and it's so common. But it's very hard. But when you meet the person, it's really hard. You don't to try to let them understand that without telling you, it's going to happen tomorrow. You're going to die. You don't talk to that like that to a customer,
No.
But it's a very touchy and difficult situation,
Right.
and I'm trying to help the children, of course. But
Yeah, but they're having to deal with the parent that's saying, no, we're not going to spend that money, or we don't want that stuff in our house. We're fine. We can do this on our own. And then it becomes a reactive situation versus a proactive planning situation. And
exactly. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it trickles down to always the same thing. Make the decisions yourself while you can, instead of waiting for the time where someone else will have to make the decision for you.
Or you.
And you will end up in the assisted living. Maybe not what you wanted.
Yeah, that's right. And then that's just a whole nother set of problems and difficulties and psychological problems, right? Because then now you're taking a parent out of their home, which most people want to age in their homes. So that's the reality of it. Most people.
3 out of 4 people prefer aging in their home, even though they could afford a nice assisted living. It's not the issue. Yeah.
And they just don't want to go out of their home. Most of the time they've been in their home for years, many years. All right. And they don't want to leave their home. They don't know what's out there. It's the unknown of where they're going to go and how they're going to take care of them. And the old nursing home, connotation that, oh, those terrible nursing homes, which are
Yes,
gotten a lot better nowadays. But when
true,
you feel,
but
yeah,
but true. It's also about living the community you are in.
yeah, right, exactly, yeah,
Mhm.
yep. Well, very good. That's really good conversation. Interesting, interesting thoughts. If you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about you being a member in the Senior Estate Concierge. I'd like to hear. You've been a member for a while, over a year at least,
Oh
maybe a year.
yes, I mean
Yeah,
I think
one
for
of the
almost the very beginning, you know.
almost from the very beginning. Yeah, really appreciate you being with us. So, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about what you think about the group, the value that you found so far in the group, and what is it that you like about it?
It is an interesting group because I've met only quality people there, interesting people. I think that the selection process makes the offering very high quality. The good thing is people understand that the benefit of having one place with all those services, and I've seen services that are available through the concierge group as the group that I never thought of. That shows the real estate and moving. The combination of real estate management and moving companies and things like that. It's really so. At the end of the day, what it provides me with is the ability to tell my customer that may have an issue. Well, maybe you should go to that place. You will find what you need.
Yeah.
Because before I didn't have. Of course, I knew through those networking groups. I knew other professionals offering different services,
Right.
but not as complete, not as exhaustive as the Senior Estate Concierge Group.
Right. Yep. Well, good. And that's, of course, as you know, you've heard the story many times of how we got started and why. And that was the exact point. We got started because of my business in real estate, and I needed to have all these services for my clients when I was helping a senior and a family to whatever transition it was, whether they were aging in place or whether they were selling their home to move mom and dad into assisted living. I needed all these services. They needed those services, and they asked me for them. And so that's how we got started with this. And I think it's fantastic. The people that I've met and service providers that I've met, and we've all met together for the last 2 years in this group, have been fantastic. So thank you again for being here today, and thank you for being part of the organization. You are very valuable for sure. And
Thank you.
Your knowledge is fantastic. I love it. So if anybody is out there that wants to get a hold of Christian or myself, the numbers are there in the bottom of the screen scrolling by. You're welcome to contact either one of us and just talk to us about whatever situation you have. Again, we have a lot of different service providers in the organization that we know that we can trust and that will care about your needs and take care of you the best that they can. So if there's no other questions from the audience, then we will conclude with that, and we will see you again in 2 weeks with another provider. So have a great day. Christian, again, thank you, and we will see you soon, sir. You take care.
Thank you, Bill.